So today I just want to talk quickly about, I guess, the Australian Labor Party, or I guess more broadly in general, uh, Australian politics and the Australian political landscape. And it's particularly salient to me today because I've been keeping up heavily. If anyone's watched any of my other videos, I always kept up heavily with the US election, and I was a big fan of Bernie Sanders and how he wanted to represent the working people of that country and to promote equality and to promote fairness amongst, the working and middle class. And just the way he has jumped into a real leadership role after losing the election, he immediately came out and he's not trying to sell his book and he's not setting up his next, presidential campaign. He's trying to help corral grassroots supports and movements. And I really wish we had someone like that here in Australia when we see there's a lot of controversies going on right now with Centrelink, with minister expenses, um, with I just read a news story right here, I'm looking at it, talking about how Labor joins the Liberals in allowing donations from property developers. And I haven't read the article, but both major parties are steeped in donations from large developers. They're not just property developers, but last I saw, mining companies were the largest political contributors to both parties. So they're contributing to both parties. So no matter who gets in power, their interests are going to be represented. And I have no doubt that the Australian Labor Party does, at its core, want to favour working class of Australia. But I mean, Bill Shorten has been conspicuously absent lately from the news, and he hasn't been leading the opposition. He hasn't been the leader of the opposition and the leader of, the real opposition to not just the Liberal policies, which, yeah, he has been commenting on quite a few things, and so he opposed, for example, the pension changes, which the Greens were actually for. And that's kind of an interesting situation. But where is he right now, every day, fighting for equality and opposing Pauline Hanson's agenda? And she's the one who's being populist and at least ostensibly looking as though she's standing up for the working class. And I disagree with a lot of what she says. Sometimes she's charming and sometimes she does say the right things, but I don't think her agenda overall is one that I would want to see represented in Australia, especially, her party, anti-vaccination, anti-climate change, all of these things. I mean, denying climate change is very definitely not in the interests of Australian workers. And so it's the Australian Labor Party and Bill Shorten as the leader of that party who really need to be standing up and fighting back against this. Oh, I don't know why. For some reason my other laptop started going off. So with and the Labor Party and Bill Shorten, they can't come out and slam minister expenses, exorbitant expenses being charged by ministers, because they're just as big a part of the problem, and they can't slam corruption in the Liberal Party because they're opposed to an anti-corruption committee or commission to investigate claims of corruption within the major parties, and they are just as guilty of these things as the Liberal Party. They're both as guilty as each other, I guess. I'm kind of showing my left-wing bias here by saying the default is the Liberal Party is corrupt and the Labor Party is not corrupt, when they're both as guilty as each other in this support. So yeah, I really think there's going to be big problems until both major Australian parties are able to free themselves of, first of all, the donations from the mining companies, from property developers, from the scandals of using taxpayer funds, to we need an anti-corruption commission, and we need a leader, really, especially I think within the Labor Party, the Labor movement in Australia, who really is out there, not just reacting to polls, not just giving perfunctory speeches and perfunctory opposition to what the Liberal Party wants. In a lot of ways, Bill Shorten and the Labor Party do this, but not in all the right ways, and it's not very salient at the moment. Uh, we need somebody who's trying to use the base of the party and trying to use popularity and trying to use the grassroots. And I think this comes, you know, with part of the package of accepting large donations from developers, from mining companies, all this kind of stuff. When you're not reliant on the grassroots, you're going to be separated from them, and I think that's a big problem. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm sure I had much more to say, but maybe I should start using a script. Anyway, those are my thoughts, just on the broad general direction of what is going on in Australia at the moment. I really think we need a leader, somebody out there to stand up and fight back for the working class of Australia. And really, I mean, it's a shame that a leader really needs charisma, which Bill Shorten does not have, and it's really a shame to me that Pauline Hanson is probably the most charismatic leader we have, that's getting mainstream recognition. And don't even get me started on how much time she's getting in the mainstream media, but yeah, I guess we need to fight fire with fire. So I thought I'd make a video about that, because I want to do what I can, even though I'll only get 10 views or whatever, to contribute to the grassroots support for popular movements, for labour movements, for promoting equality in Australia and promoting fair values and a fair go for the working class in Australia. So that's my video. Thank you.